So great to see you again. It's Judy from Coffee Cookies and Books, and it is Book of the Month and Aardvark time. The November releases just came out, and I can't wait to bring these to you and to let you know what I have picked up from both of these book services. So if you're interested, I would really love it if you would stick around. So again, it's that time. It's November, the beginning of November, and our Book of the Month and Aardvark have both released the selections that they have. I think the Book of the Month came out on the 30th, and Aardvark came out today, which is November 1st, the day that I'm filming this video for you. I'm going to go through the main selections that they have. They have 5 main selections, but they also have 4 add-on selections, which I think is really great. And then for Aardvark has the normal selections, which I think there are 6 of those. Yep, 6 of those. Now, out of the 6, I have ordered 2, plus I've ordered 1 that was from last month, and I'll explain all of that when we get to Aardvark. I always do Aardvark second. So we're going to do Book of the Month first, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through these selections, and I'm going to give you a quick synopsis on them, and I'll also give you the reason they selected them and any potential warnings or things like that that they may have, triggers, that kind of thing. So that is typically how we go through them. Hopefully you will stick around. I am going to, I will tag this video, section it so that you can jump. If you're not interested in Book of the Month, you can jump straight to Aardvark. If you're not interested in Aardvark, you're going to know where it ends and you can just stop watching the video, because not everybody belongs to both book services. Now, I am going to say that I did not care for the majority of the selections that Book of the Month had, both in their standards and their add-ons. Only picked 1, but I still had a full box. And I'll explain that when we get to the end. I will go over all of the extras that I ordered, because I did order quite a few extras. Okay, so the first book that they had on offer was actually one that I know I featured in one of my releases videos, because I remember this one specifically. It's a romance. It's an academic affair by Jodi McAlister. And the quick take that they have is, in this rivals to romance novel, office hours get steamy when faculty foes get married to advance their careers. The things that they have that are good to know is multiple viewpoints, book about books, it's salacious, and a marriage of convenience. Why they chose it. We were swooning over this slow burn love story between 2 people who can't stand each other yet are inexplicably pulled together. This romance is steeped in academic aesthetic. Think professors clad in tweed, hilariously bookish footnotes, and intellectual rivalry galore. It was refreshing to see how the relationship between the protagonists and their siblings was just as heartwarming as the chemistry between the lovers. So that's that one. I did not pick that one. I don't pick a lot of contemporary romance. The odd one here and there, because I do like the sound of it. But yeah, so I'm kind of not a contemporary romance person, and that is definitely contemporary romance. All right, the next one is The Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite, and it is a contemporary fiction. The quick take is a multi-generational story about a family destined for heartbreak and the ways our lineages can and can't define us. What it says under good to know is it's a family drama, forbidden love, nonlinear timeline, and international. Why they chose it. This book explores superstitions, modernity, and empowerment in ways that feel both specific to its characters and universally resonant. We were captivated by the questions this story poses about fate, destiny, individuality, such as how much of our life is in our own control. This is a genre-bending novel that offers a unique mix of mystery, romance, and the otherworldly, resulting in a wholly original take on the multi-generational family drama. Content warning says this book contains mentions of suicide and the death of a child. So that's that one. I did not choose that one. Just not into a lot of contemporary fiction. I do read it, but it's very select few. Next one is Her One Regret by Donna Freitas. This is a mystery. The quick take, a mother missing, a baby abandoned, a tense mystery about what can happen when social pressures snap. The things that are good to know, it's multiple viewpoints, female friendships, slow build, mama drama. Why we chose it, we were compelled by this slow burn crime fiction that is equally as focused on its twisty mystery as it is on its larger themes and characters. This book is unflinching and provocative with its frank discussions of more taboo side of regretting motherhood and marriage, the unreliable narrators. We were never quite sure who we could trust, and that kept us turning the pages. The content warning says this book contains mentions of the death of a child. So that is that one. I didn't pick that one. The whole mama thing, I'm not a mom. I kind of can't relate. So yeah, those stories don't usually pull me in and make me want to choose them to read. But that's just me, okay? I think a lot of people might like that one. Next one is Lightbreakers by Aja Gabel. It is a speculative fiction. This moving story about experimental time travel asks, can revisiting our past heartbreak risk the love in our present? Good to know. It's emotional, cerebral, multiple viewpoints, and it deals with infidelity. Why we chose it, this is a unique, unconventional take on a time travel story that is rooted in science and memory instead of magic. This book is an intimate story of love, loss, and marriage that has moments of melancholy as well as hope, packing an emotional punch. Its sensational literary writing is combined with philosophical observations of the world around us, resulting in pages that are full of lines we want to underline. Content warning says this book contains scenes depicting the death of a child. So far, it's that like every book except for the first one, I think, which is a kind of a little depressing. I thought this did sound a touch depressing, and it did say that it was emotional, so that kind of put it on the back burner for me. I was like, no, I didn't want something like that. I typically don't like to read anything like that, and yeah, so that was not my choice. Okay, so this one is Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krempholtz. This is the only book that I chose out of this and the add-ons. And this was one that I featured in one of my releases videos, and I loved the sound of it. It is a cozy fantasy romance. So it's a cozy story about what happens when a villain retires. Think magic plants, grumpy sunshine romance, and lots of charm. Multiple viewpoints, romanticy, salacious, and cozy. So it's just like right up my alley, or just the kind of story that I like. We were charmed by this story, this cozy romance about starting over, redemption, and what it really means to be a good person. The town of Dragon's Rest was a captivating place to explore, with magical creatures that ranged from dragons and rock goblins to a sentient and murderous plant. The high-stakes book left us swooning. The villain retirement story is just as much of a rom-com as it is an adventurous fantasy. And there were no trigger warnings on that one, so I thought that was great. I mean, it is cozy, so usually you don't get those. And I did order this one, so I was very excited about that one. I thought it would be really great. Now we're going to talk about the ones that are the add-ons, and we have 4 add-ons. I think 3 of them are thrillers and 1, I don't know if this was an add-on from last month and I forgot to mention it because I haven't been mentioning the add-ons, probably should have, so I wanted to make sure that this one did get mentioned. And then the other ones are ones that I think just need to be mentioned. There seems to be one of the books that was originally on the early releases is now no longer there. So I don't know if it was a mistake or if it got ordered and they're out of stock, which is unusual for Book of the Month, especially because it's only a few days out. But the other 3 are here, so we'll go over them. Yeah, that's like kind of really odd. It was a second book by Nicole Baart, and it was an early release. And what was the title of it again? It was Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. But there is one more in here, which is a recent add-on. So I'm not really sure why that happened, but anyway. One of the add-ons was 59 Minutes by Holly Seddon. Seddon, I think is how that's pronounced. And it is a thriller, quick take with 1 hour to spare before a missile hits London. 3 women are forced to fight for what they care about most. This is a fast read, LGBTQ themes, multiple viewpoints, unsettling. It doesn't have anything about why they picked it. It just says content warning, mentions of sexual assault. It just says in the synopsis, nuclear missile threat to southern England, 59 minutes until impact. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a test. So that sounds pretty scary to me. Yeah. How about that one? And then the next one is also a thriller. It is by Nicole Baart, Where He Left Me. And when her husband disappears in the midst of a snowstorm, a woman looks for answers by delving into his buried past. It's a psychological, slow build, nonlinear, unsettling. In every world, I'd find you. Sadie Sheridan's new husband, Felix, a professor of planetary sciences, has vowed to never leave her. But when Felix doesn't return from a work trip, Sadie is stranded at Hemlock House, the remote mountain homestead where her husband grew up. Doubt creeps into Sadie's heart, then panic. Where is he? So that sounds really good. And there are no content warnings for that one. And I found the other one. Yeah, it wasn't coming up in the thing. Oh, it's sold out. So it is sold out, which is unfortunate. It is a new release, early release. Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. I'm still going to read this because it is an early release, and just in case anybody's interested, they can go and check it out elsewhere. And again, it's a thriller. And a quick take is pushed out of her hometown after high school. A woman returns to solve the riddle of her family and a horrific crime. It is a psychological, rural family drama, whodunit, which I think sounds fantastic. And no content warnings from what I can tell. So that is that one. And yeah, so that was a little weird, but I guessed right. It was a early release. And then the last one I just wanted to mention, because I don't know if I mentioned it the last time, is The Everlasting by Alix E. Harrow. It is an add-on for Book of the Month, and I know a lot of people have been looking for this one. I've never read anything by her, and I didn't pick this one up, but I know it is quite popular. A shell-shocked historian and a medieval knight become inexplicably involved, transcending time, mythology, and love. It has multiple viewpoints, slow build, puzzle, salacious, And it says, Sir Una Everlasting was Dominion's greatest hero, the orphan girl who became a knight, who died for queen and country. Her legend lives on in songs and stories, in children's books and recruiting posters. But her life, as it truly happened, has been forgotten. Centuries later, Owen Mallory, failed soldier, struggling scholar, falls in love with the tale of Una Everlasting. Her story takes him to war, to the archives, and then into the past itself. Una and Owen are tangled together in time, bound to retell the same story over and over again, no matter what it costs. So I thought that sounded great. And of course, I mean, I didn't buy it. I don't really kind of get into the whole historical fantasies with knights and things like that. That's not really my cup of tea, but I know it is very, very popular. So I thought I would mention that one. So that is it for the regular selections. Now, what I bought from Book of the Month. So as I said, I bought the one book, which was Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore. And then the other 3 books that I bought were all thrillers. So I bought Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, and then one that was from last month that I couldn't fit into my box was The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong. I decided to pick that one up. And so I have those 3. I've put their covers up here. I'm not going to read the synopsis on those, but 2 of them, I think, the Lock Every Door and A Flicker in the Dark are older, but I think because of the time of year, Book of the Month offers them again. So it's really great with that one. And like I said, The Haunting of Payne's Hollow was from last month. So I did pick that up. And so I had a full box. I also hit my full 12-month order. So I have my status where I now think I can order 5 books, and I get my free one on my birthday, and I get a free choice from their the lollies, I think it is that they're called, when they have their favorites for the year. So yeah, so I was very excited about that. So all around a great month with Book of the Month. And so now we're on to Aardvark. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a coffee. Wet my whistle a little bit before we move on, because we've got 6 books to cover here. So the first one is Girl Dinner by Olivie Blake. And this one is satirical comedy, horror, contemporary fiction, LGBTQIA. And it is a darkly funny novel about power, loss, and eating your fill as wealthy moms and sorority girls practice a sinister new wellness trend. Good girls deserve a treat. That's all I'm going to say about it. I did feature this in one of my releases videos, and I thought it sounded interesting, but I did not pick this one up. There's always potential that I would pick it up in another box, but I had the 2 that I really wanted, and then one that I couldn't get from the last month, and I really wanted it, and I will explain that one. So that was that one. The next one is The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. I did pick this one up. It is a horror. You know, I think almost everything I picked up except for that cozy, everything is thrillers and horrors. I'm just going to say that off the top. Okay. Yeah. It was one of those months. I don't know. Maybe it's a mood. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, another horror. This one. And this says a woman must confront the evil that has been terrorizing her streets since she was a child in this gripping haunted house novel from author of The House That Horror Built and Good Girls Don't Die. Now, I have never read anything by Christina Henry, so very much looking forward to reading this one. It does have content warnings of child death and self-emulation. So I thought I should mention that one. And the content warnings on the Girl Dinner is cannibalism and discussion of sexual assault. I don't like the whole cannibalism thing, okay? Just saying. one of the reasons why I have not grabbed that one right away. Just saying. Okay, so the next one is Kill the Beast, which is a debut novel, fantasy. It includes a dog and is LGBTQIA+. And the synopsis says, The Witcher meets Howl's moving castle in this debut original fairy tale of revenge, redemption, and friendships for fans of T. Fisher, Naomi Novik, and cozy fantasy with a dash of gritty adventure. So I thought this one sounded like it was very fun. It does have content warnings, which is child death and discussion of suicide. I'm just going to say, Book of the Month and Aardvark. Child death. There's an awful lot of that. And it kind of creeps me out a little bit. Okay? Did not pick up this one, but yeah. Anyway. Next up is Haven't Killed in Years, which is by Amy K. Green. And this is a thriller. Oh, did I even say Kill the Beast was by Serra Swift? Sorry. I know I put the book covers up, but I do like to actually mention the author because I think it's important to do so. So my apologies for forgetting to do that. Yeah, so this is Haven't Killed in Years by Amy K. Green. As I said, it's a thriller, and it also has child death and domestic abuse as the content warnings. It's like every book. I don't know. Anyways, no one is supposed to know harmless office worker Gwen Tanner is the vanished daughter of serial killer Abel Haggerty. But a low profile and a new name aren't going to cut it when an obsessive new killer starts targeting her in this lively and propulsive thriller with a standout voice. So I had read this when I did my releases video, and I really liked this. And I had a feeling when Aardvark was doing all of their hints, it was like I had picked this one out. And I absolutely knew. By the time we got to the last hint, I was like, yeah, 100%. This one and the Olivie Blake one for sure. But this one, it was like, oh yeah, that one's 100%. So, and I wanted to get this one, so I'm super glad to see it on here, and I did add it to my box. And as I said, the content warnings were child death and domestic abuse on that one. The next one is Isn't It Obvious by Rachel Runya Katz. I think that's how that's pronounced. It's a romance and LGBTQIA+. And after a meat disaster, a podcaster and her producer fall in love over email without realizing they know and hate each other in real life. So I thought that sounded really cute. I did not add that to my box, but definitely very cute. And it is a 3 out of 5 open door on the spice rating. And no content warnings on that one. Okay, and then the next one is called The Thirst Trap, which is by Gráinne O'Hare, I think, or Gráinne O'Hare. Not really sure how that's pronounced. My apologies if I butchered it. It is a debut novel, literary fiction, LGBTQIA+, and the synopsis says, a bitingly funny novel about your late 20s as you stare down 30. When do you tire of morning hangovers, days of dead-end entry-level jobs, and late nights at the bar? The friend group is about to find out. Sometimes friends hold you together. Sometimes they're why you're falling apart. So, thought that was interesting. And content warnings say bulimia and mention of abortion. So that is that one. I did not pick that one up. And then the last one that I did pick up that was on last month's, and I couldn't get it because I had a full box, is the short story collection that is exclusive to Aardvark, and it's One Bad Night. And it has multiple short stories from authors that they have featured before, which is Kay Cronister, Del Sandine, Kylie Lee Baker, Rachel Harrison, CJ Lead, Jennifer Thorne, S.A. Barnes, and Stephen Graham Jones. Now, I have read books from 3 or 4 of these authors, so I thought that was great, but I also like the fact that the other half I have not read anything from. So I thought, short story collection might be a good way to start a reading journey with these authors. Now, typically I don't really read short stories, but because there's only 8 of them, I thought that was really great. And then the one content warning is Dog Death, which is, of course, the story by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm kind of not surprised on that one. So I'm just thinking of, I just finished reading and will be reviewing Buffalo Hunter, and there's a lot of animal death in that one. And yeah, so I don't think the man shies away from it, but love his writing. So I can't wait to read that one. So that is it for all of our selections for both Book of the Month and Aardvark, and of course what I have chosen. I will be doing a book haul. My book hauls either end of November into December. That'll be the last few that I'm going to share for the end of the year, and anything that I've picked up over the last few months from these 2 book services will also be in there. So you'll get to see the full books, and we'll talk about them again. And that's it. So hopefully there's something in there that interests you. Now, I have my links to Book of the Month and Aardvark below. I am not a paid affiliate for either. Only thing I get if you buy Book of the Month is a credit. If you sign up and you say that you heard it from me, if you go through my link, I then get a credit for you finding them through me. So that's it, really. I don't get anything else from them. I just absolutely love both services, and I know that even though I might not pick the books that are on every selection, there's going to be something you're going to want, and I think that's fantastic, and that's why I want to bring it to you. Okay, so that's it for now, and I will see you in my next video.